As Billings residents get ready to pay more for water and sewer services, trash fees are going up too. The hike comes as the Public Works Department seeks funds for equipment repairs and improvements to Billings solid waste services, including the Billings landfill. The council voted 8-2 Monday night to raise garbage collection rates for Billings residents. The council also approved a raised rate for county residents and out-of-state visitors to dump at the Billings landfill. Residential and mobile homes will see an increase of 54 cents per month on their garbage bill starting July 1st, and a county resident will pay $9.10 to dump loads up to 1,500 pounds, and anyone from out of state will pay $10.93. That's a 15% increase over the current rate. And through these changes, Billings residents still won't have to pay to use the landfill for regular trash, as it's already built into the garbage collection fee. More details emerging on Vice President Mike Pence's trip to Billings tomorrow. Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence return to the Treasure State at the invitation of Senator Steve Daines to see Montana's meth crisis firsthand. The Vice President will meet privately with healthcare providers, local law enforcement, and federal officials as they look at treatment, prevention, and enforcement. The Rimrock Foundation is part of the local Substance Abuse Coalition and will be part of Pence's trip on Wednesday. CEO Lynette Kosevich tells us drug use is on a rise, especially meth, in hopes the feds will pay attention to what's happening here.
Some of the ways we're seeing the feds react to recognizing there are other drugs. AG Sessions was here over a year ago, and he came to talk about the opioid epidemic, but in a personal conversation, we got to talk about some of the things that really cause us concern here in Montana. Having Vice President Pence here really shines a light on the true depth of this problem.
The Vice President and Second Lady will arrive around noon at Billings Logan International Airport on Wednesday. They will be joined on Air Force Two by Senator Steve Daines and Representative Greg Gianforte. Pence will then travel by motorcade to Riverstone Health Clinic for a briefing from the High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Task Force and the Yellowstone Substance Abuse Coalition. After that, the Vice President will go to Willow Way, a group home for patients struggling with addiction. And later Wednesday, he will attend a political fundraising event for Senator Steve Daines. None of Wednesday's events are open to the public, but we will have complete coverage right here on Q2. A woman is in jail and her husband is dead after police say she ran over him while driving drunk this past Sunday. First responders in Sheridan, Wyoming found a man in the middle of East Brundage Street with severe trauma. An investigation revealed he had been hit by a truck driven by his wife, 40-year-old Angela Livingston, after he got out of the vehicle without her knowledge. Livingston had stopped the truck in the middle of the road during an argument with a couple on a motorcycle. It's not known why she drove off without her husband or why he exited the truck. He was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. Livingston remains in jail on recommended charges of DUI and aggravated homicide by vehicle. A man charged in connection with the death of a Broadwater County Sheriff's deputy will not be forcibly medicated while the Montana Supreme Court considers his case. A district judge in Helena ruled in April that Lloyd Beerus could be forcibly medicated in an attempt to make him fit to stand trial. Beerus's attorneys asked the Supreme Court to overturn that decision, arguing the state hadn't proven the necessary elements to justify forced treatment. They requested last week that the court put a stay on the judge's order. The court agreed to delay the treatment plan while considering the appeal. Prosecutors say Beerus's son Marshall fatally shot Deputy Mason Moore near Three Forks in May of 2017. The two men then led law enforcement on a chase that ended near Missoula. Marshall Beerus was killed in a shootout with officers. Lloyd Beerus has been charged with 5 felonies, including deliberate homicide by accountability. He was found unfit to stand trial last year. Well, new developments surrounding a massive sexual abuse case involving the former Miles City High School athletic trainer. A state judge in Custer County is dismissing 2 critical complaints ahead of trial, prompting plaintiffs in the case to again counterfile in response. Back in May, Judge Nicholas Murnian heard oral arguments from both sides. The civil suit was filed in September against 79-year-old James Jensen and the Miles City Unified School District by 32 former male student athletes. After weeks of review, Murnian found on Monday that because Jensen was a guardian of the abused, the school district was not required to report child abuse. That's according to state law. Murnian also granted the district's wish to dismiss a claim of vicarious liability. Attorneys for the plaintiffs, John Heenan, tells Q2 they refiled again on Monday. He says they don't perceive this ruling as a loss, but instead a slight delay in justice. Jensen is currently in federal custody. The Custer-Gallatin National Forest is currently revising its management plan, and the Crow tribe wants a say in the future of the Crazy Mountains. Drafted in 1987, the current forest plan does not protect any part of the Crazy Mountains. The Forest Service is considering whether to leave the plan the way it is or protect thousands of acres of the mountain range, prohibiting road building and other developments. The Crow tribe believes leaving the area untouched is highly important to their religion and culture.
Well, I think that we've already lost so much over the past 150 years of our traditional homeland and our culture, and that's one of the few areas that's still pretty much pristine. A lot of the sacred places high up in the peaks are still the same way they were, and we have an opportunity now to make sure they stay that way for at least the next 30 years.
Officials with the Forest Service say they will keep the tribe in mind when making their final decision. However, they told MTM the federal government is not supposed to show preference to any religion. The USS Billings is on the move. These images were captured on Monday as the 15th in the class of littoral combat ships departed at the shipyard at Marinette, Wisconsin. She's now working her way to Key West, Florida, where she will be commissioned on August 3rd. The ship and her crew will mostly operate in waters close to shore once she heads into action later this summer. Although the Alberta Bear Theatre is torn up for a massive remodel, this summer's Billings Clinic Classic will go on, and they're announcing the lineup. The group Alter Ego will headline this year's event, set for Saturday, August 24th. Alter Ego from Montreal, Canada is dubbed a non-stop all-dance performance featuring the best of 70s disco, 80s rock, 90s pop, and the hit songs of the new millennium. The group is made up of 7 lead singers and dancers who undergo 95 costume changes during each performance. This year's theme, Urban Classic, will play off the event's outdoor location street dance. The event will be filled with tints, lights, champagne, and music. Tickets for the 2019 Billings Clinic Classic go on sale this morning at 8:30. You can get your tickets by calling or heading over to the Billings Clinic Foundation on the hospital's campus. Proceeds will benefit the Sustainable Fund for the Psychiatric Services Residency Program at Billings Clinic. Before we take a break, sailing schools around the country are reaching out to military veterans, offering them a chance to learn a new skill that could help ease the symptoms of PTSD. MTN's Jill Valley traveled to Flathead Lake to learn how a day on the water can help anyone find peace.
Sailing, I feel like, is the sense of freedom that allows you to harness the wind on your own terms.
It's a sunny Wednesday morning at the Dayton Yacht Harbor on Flathead Lake, where we meet Captain Genevieve Evans, owner of the Flathead Lake Sailing School. She's getting this Capri 22 ready to take me for a quick sail.
Starboard, leeward, over.
It doesn't really matter where we're going.
It's about being on the water and using the equipment and feeling the wind, and it's not always about getting to a certain place.
Genevieve is part of Operation Vet Sail, a program that teaches basic sailing skills to active and retired service members. The theory is that sailing is soothing to the soul. It could help relieve symptoms of PTSD and help get anyone back on an even keel.
When you go sailing, you can leave your troubles on the shore, and it's not just a physical difference, it's an emotional one, because you and the boat are about to have a conversation with the wind and the waves, and in the end, they take you someplace entirely new.
Turn off the engine and you raise the sails, and it's like someone has flipped a switch, and it's a whole new set of experiences, and you relax and enjoy and feel the breezes and go anywhere you choose to go by using nature.
Veteran sailor and Air Force veteran Reggie Good understands. When you're at the helm, you call the shots, whether you're coming about or choosing attack, giving power to somebody who might feel they have none.
It gives them an option to deal with something where they can exercise whatever amount of control they choose. And there's a lot of things around all of us, veterans included, that we don't have a lot of control over. This gives us some power back again.
Sailing can bring families together too. They're away from the stress of the day and their phones and other distractions. They're there to achieve a goal together.
It's about preparation and drills and forming a community and a team atmosphere to relieve stress, get your focus off of the day-to-day.
The wind, the water, the waves. It can bring a sense of freedom to those who fought for ours.
You can't prepare for rough seas, but you can always adjust your sails.
In Dayton, Jill Valley, MTN News.
Jill also tells us the program offers discounts to veterans for the instruction.